I'm going to actually introduce one person as well, and that's Julian Alteo. Julia actually is part of our national office in Bethesda and is the senior manager of volunteer engagement, and she's actually helping to lead a very cool project, which is basically called Tomorrow's Leaders. This is an opportunity for young professionals to become involved in a philanthropic exercise or philanthropic and sort of learn about how to be able to give back. So I think she's going to come talk specifically about sort of how the Tomorrow's Leaders program is going to make such a difference going forward. So Julia, come on up.
Thanks, Mike. So first off, I just also want to say thank you for, this night's all about you and everything you've done over the last year. So thank you. I'm starting to believe that it is the best chapter in the country. I'm very excited to be here today to talk to you about Tomorrow's Leaders. As you can see here on the screen, it is our brand new National Young Professionals program. And it's aimed at creating a clear path for young professionals to engage with the foundation beyond just a one-time experience. So what we're looking to do with this program is fuel lifelong support for our next generation of volunteers, leaders, and supporters. Should get the clicker here. So to give you kind of just a quick overview of this program, and kind of take a step back, when we started thinking about developing a model for this program, we really wanted to think about what would resonate with the young professional mindset. What type of events, what type of experiences are they looking for? And through a lot of research and talking to a lot of young professionals themselves, we found that they're looking to find opportunities that they can advance in their careers, network with people that they wouldn't otherwise have access to network with, and take on leadership positions. So that's what we infused within this program. Locally, they'll have ongoing networking and professional development. We've also built in a leadership structure for them to grow. So we'll have a council, there's a chair position and a vice chair position. We're rolling this out nationally, not just here in Massachusetts, but in all 70 of our chapters across the country. Some chapters have already started rolling it out. We just kicked it off here in Massachusetts at a reception earlier this evening. And the one thing that has come up, the question I've gotten most often is, we have networking, we have young professional programs. What's going to make this group special? Why are people going to want to join Tomorrow's Leaders? And the answer to that is quite simple. It's the same thing that makes our foundation special. It's everything that Dr. Boyle just talked about. It's the science, it's the research, it's everything that's within our mission. And that's going to be so deeply part of the heart of this program. Here are just a few sample of events that are taking place actually in the next week or two across the country. I'll just point out one example, and we can highlight some others a little bit later, but the Orange County chapter, next week they're holding an event, and it's their board chair that actually has offered to hold this event. And he is in the restaurant industry. He also has a daughter with CF. She will also be in attendance at the event to talk about her life with CF. So these young professionals will have access to network with him and also meet somebody with CF. The biggest part about this program is people will never leave not knowing why they came. How many of you have ever gone to a networking event or just an event in general and you left and said, what was that again? And maybe I see some nods. Maybe I met some great people, but I don't even remember what the organization was that put that on. Our biggest goal with this program is that people leave feeling deeper connected to our mission and to the foundation. So who are Tomorrow's Leaders? What's the criteria? We keep talking about the membership and coming to these events. It's anybody between the ages of 21 and 40. It's a membership program, so that we are asking that they make a $65 annual contribution, and they should demonstrate a commitment to find your cure. So they are philanthropic in nature, they are individuals who believe in our mission. But more specifically, there are people like Chad and Layla and Dan and Ray and Jessica. And I want to just talk about Dan for a second here, because he has a very interesting story that I'd love to highlight. Dan, 3 years ago, was introduced to cystic fibrosis when he met his now wife. He is currently the chair of our Orange County Tomorrow's Leaders program. 2 years ago, his wife received a double lung transplant. And a year ago, he was walking he was coming home from work, and he stumbled upon a Cystic Fibrosis Foundation kickoff event. It was for their Finest campaign. And not knowing that there was a CF chapter in his area, he walked up to the table and said, "Hey, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, tell me more, what's going on?" And they said, "Oh, we're doing this kickoff event. It's for our Finest program. We'd love to have you stay, mingle with people, and get to know them." And he said, "Great." And I talked to him last week, and he said that was the best decision he's ever made in the recent future, or recent past. From there, he became one of our Finest honorees and was one of the top fundraisers. And afterwards, he said, "What can I do next?" It just so happened we had just introduced this program. And so the staff there said, "Well, we have Tomorrow's Leaders, and we'd love for you to be a part of it." And he said, "Great. Can I take on a leadership position?" And they said, "Sure. Do you want to be the chair?" And he said, "Yes." Their program right now, he is an MBA recruiter as a profession. It's not a surprise that their program right now has more members than any of the others. But the biggest takeaway there, I think, is that he wanted to do more, and we had a place for him. We had something to give him. So that's going to be a really important part of this program. Next, I want to highlight Layla. She's from our Georgia chapter. She chairs up that program. Layla got involved a couple of years ago when two of her best friends gave birth to a child with CF. Not knowing how to help, she asked, what can we do to help? And they said, "Well, why don't you come out to a CFF event with us? And she said, "Great." So she got involved because of her friends, but she stayed involved once she learned more about what we've done, once she learned more about the foundation and the mission, and she felt the culture. Last, I want to highlight Harris. Harris is from our Greater New York chapter. And Harris got involved 9 years ago when his boss at the time said, "Hey, Harris, can you lead our Great Strides team?" Harris has no connection to CF. And he said, "Sure." So I think, now, 9 years later, he was one of the volunteers on the task force that helped build this program. So we got a lot of input from him, and now he's not only volunteering in New York, but he's also traveling to New Jersey, went to their Tomorrow's Leaders open houses, and has helped build their programs locally. So I think the biggest takeaway there is we just had to ask, and now he's one of our top volunteers. So I think for most of you, or for many of you in the room, you may not fit within the young professional, or you may not identify as a young professional, I should say. But there's still so many ways you can help. And I actually want to call up Kristen Stark. Kristen is leading this program here in Massachusetts. And she actually just led the kickoff event earlier today. But just wanted to make sure you knew her face and you knew her name, because what we need your help with is identifying tomorrow's leaders here in the Massachusetts and Rhode Island areas that would fit within this program. So I know all of you, if you're not a young professional, you know young professionals. And so we need you to nominate them to be a part of tomorrow's leaders. We also need, now we have a little question mark up there from Massachusetts. What events are we going to hold there? And so we need your help in identifying, maybe you're a financial planner and you can help run a financial planning workshop. Or maybe you have a space that you're willing to donate. Let Kristen know. And so I've added her contact information up here. And yeah, I would love for you to get involved in any way that you can by contacting Kristen. And thank you. I'm excited to see how this program goes. I know with being the greatest chapter in the country, that comes with great responsibility. I expect this to be the greatest Tomorrow's Leaders program in the country. Thank you.